Oh, we're live on air. Hey, everyone. Chip T. Graham with RC Groups. You know, I was looking at the RC Groups logo behind me, and I didn't notice that we were live. I've got to say, Matt, a lot has happened today. Oh, my gosh. Okay,
he's here. He's
good.
in.
I was going to say, don't say anything, but we definitely know that's not going to happen. So a lot has happened this morning. First of all, we want to welcome our guest, Doug from Buddy RC.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
So he got all set up. He got geared up on Amazon.com so he'd be able to come on the show. And today, Thursday, you know, is almost Friday, and Friday's literally Saturday, but it was a busy Thursday for me. We talked to Doug last week about maybe doing a giveaway today, and Doug was like, yeah, man. So he and I worked that out this morning. Then I created a post on RC Groups, and then I created a mass email, and the mass email link to the post. And then there's some other stuff in that mass email we're going to talk about on this podcast. And then we're joined by, and he won't come up, but it's Jason Cole. Jason is sick, but we didn't feel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Cole, and I'm.
So I said, Jason, we tried to find a third, and I'll tell you what I tried to do, everyone, because it's kind of excited. I'm pretty excited. I tried to get Lane Stair. It was very last minute. Lane, is it Stair? I don't know, but from the Crash Cast. And I thought, oh my God, he'd be perfect. But I thought of this like 30 seconds ago. So maybe we can get Lane on in the future. I was just trying to round out the podcast a little bit. And so what's happened is Jason's here, but he's not going to speak due to his lost voice. But Matt and I were going to speak for him anyway. So
yes, we were. We're going to give that a try. And Jason, how you feeling?
I feel pretty.
I'm not feeling very good right now.
My Adam's apple's huge.
Oh, like Bobby Boucher.
Oh, it's just theory. I like to pop these pills.
Is that a 18650 from a vapor?
That's a micro 12 gauge shell.
Oh, he's vaping. Oh, he's doing some sort of funky supplement. All right. The kids, don't take supplements. They don't work.
Here's the sad news. Joe Vermillion, we were hoping to get on today to talk about the quad from Buddy RC, but Joe was not available because he actually had to work. What the heck?
Joe works? I think he works at some sort of, what does he do? He's at a Chevrolet place or so. I don't know what he does. He's United Auto Workers. I know that much. So.
Oh, is he a Teamster? Is that officially a Teamster? Doug, are you aware of what he does for a real job?
Who's that, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
All right, Doug. Thanks for helping out.
Let's cut to Jason. Jason, do you know? I don't know.
Well, I don't know what everybody does now. My name is, I can't even speak. Guys can't even. Everybody's from the
this is gonna get old pretty quick.
That's beautiful. What is that, velvet? All right. Anyway, we're done with that.
So we're bringing in our live viewers, and as you know, you can win a charger today by being live on the site. You know, in fact, I should probably go to the live chat in here just a second. But Doug, if you will you tell us about the charger that will be given away today?
Well, we got the ISDT T8 charger. Matt did an awesome review on it. It's a really nice 1,000-watt charger. It'll handle inputs up 12 to 40 volts, and it's for the size of it, palm of your hand. It's awesome, dude.
I do like that charger. We just did a review on it, so let's go ahead and
you know what? I didn't link to your review. I linked.
No, you didn't, but I got it right here. So here we go. Ready? Boom and share and ISD T8.
Let me ask you a question right up front. When I made my post today, you said you need to put ISDT in front of the T8. And so what exactly, why is that important? And what does that mean?
That's the company.
It's the brand name, the factory name.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not like iCharger 4010.
By the way, I've been using the ever-loving whatever out of this charger, and I can't stop. I have huge honking 4-port chargers, and I use this all the time now. Why
is that?
Because it's so darn quick to initiate a charge, and that is what is important in life, right, guys?
That's right.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and stop presenting here. There I am. Okay, so let me show you guys something. So just keep watching here. Let me grab my battery.
I think he meant to say battery.
Got my battery. I got my charger here. So I wanted to show everyone. I like to use this big honking flight power battery. Yeah, it's not a Buddy RC battery, but it's still a 14,000 4S that I like to, that I just have.
Holy crap.
Yeah, this is a brick, man. This is what you use if you're assaulting somebody. But
is that street legal?
Yeah, no, you can't. Actually, I take it back. It says 16,000 4S. So this, I charge this up and just blow through 5,000 packs all day. Actually, I have to keep charging it. Anyway, all you do is plug it in here like so, and you got your charger lit up. You're not going to be able to see it very well because of the difference in whatever. But anyway, it's an excellent charger. Let's see. You can't see anything. Very fast charger. And it says you don't want to do any charging without an actual pack plugged in, do you? So it's a pretty smart guy. Anyway, I use this guy all the time. It has taken the place of my big 4-port charger for, just topping off packs around the house here. And I like it.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. I got Pack Rat's actually in the chat right now. He's got several of these that he runs out of his trailer, as well as E. Hertz, Wes Johnson. He has a case with a dual setup in it.
Yeah, and it is a smart charger because it doesn't require you to put voltage in, amperage in, although you can do that. It knows the pack right off the bat. It will not allow you to overcharge unless you want to, and it is literally a one-button push. You don't have to do all this confirmation. Are you sure? Do you want to do this? You're not balancing, whatever. No, you just press it, and you're charging. So
I just put a link to that in the live feed, and I found it on it's bottom of the page on RCGroups. If you click the all button, I believe, or maybe it was planes.
So what is the criteria for this contest?
So last time Jason was in charge of the contest, and he compiled the names of people in the live chat. And at some point during the contest, we picked randomly a winner.
Yeah, that is no easy task. So congratulations, Jason, ahead of time for compiling everybody's name that says I'm in or whatever in this thing, right?
Well, Jason's sick today, so Jason can't do that. Jason is merely window candy at this point for the podcast.
He can't talk, but he can type.
He is. Look at him. His mouth's open. He is deep in conversation with himself. Wait a minute, guys. 1 minute. Sorry.
You know what he's probably doing?
What? Tell me.
He's probably making a new feature article.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, I got one. Can we step away from all of this great charger talk and show a cool product, or you want to wait a few? Yeah. All right. So I found this on RCGroups.
Just like minutes ago.
Yeah. This is called the Center Burner Simulated Afterburner Light System. TRCG is the RC Geek. I'm sorry. I'm like, see there, TRCG, but it's the RC Geek. He's got this really cool simulated afterburner that plugs in or mounts right onto the back of a EDF fan. And I do not know much about this other than the intention is to eventually cover ranges from 70 millimeter fans up to 120 millimeter in due time. Right now, he has an option for an 80 millimeter and a 90 mil coming up soon. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just mute it here. And here's this lovely RC Geek owner himself. And
that's right.
If you look at it, the biggest problem that we've seen with afterburner rings is that they mount on the end back here and they look like afterburner the LEDs. But this one looks like a real jet engine afterburner coming from deep.
Who's that guy?
That's him. So if you, what's that? Somebody talking? I can't understand what
something's happening.
What?
Hi guys.
Oh, it's Jason.
Is Jason doing his hold on.
He's hey guys. Hey Jason. I didn't get what was happening.
I didn't either. Jason, that was awesome, I guess.
I thought you'd been hijacked.
I did too. I thought that was Doug. Oh my God. Anyway, if you look over here, when he plugs it in, it actually flickers like a afterburner would when he goes into the throttle here. So watch this. So it fires up like that, but
it's not sharing your page.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah, it seems to be a recurring PC accident.
No, I'm presenting to everybody, and then you guys take me off of.
No. You're not showing a web page.
Here we go. Try it again. All right, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. That's pretty sweet, man.
All right, so when he plugs it in and he goes throttle, it flickers a little bit like so. Looks pretty cool. But he says you don't want the afterburner to come on at idle, so he can go to whatever throttle setting he wants, and you press this little button right here, and that'll reprogram it to only come on at that throttle setting. So when he goes full throttle, like so, and hits the afterburner, it comes on. Pretty cool, huh?
I'm going to have to build a jet now.
I'm telling you, I really want to build one just to have the center burner going on. Final thoughts. I really like it a lot, and I want one.
You know what it might look good on is maybe if we had a pair of those on the back of our golf cart at Joe Nall.
Yeah, like some actual EDFs back there.
Some big mofos.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for that, but we could do it. We can do anything we want. We're RCGroups. We have unlimited funds, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, hey, speaking of getting stuff for free, I'm thinking, Matt, at Toledo, you need to make it to the Buddy RC booth. And you might be able to get yourself round out. 3 of us now having a Buddy RC hat.
We can make it happen.
I do need one. What is Jason doing?
He's doing, but Jason used to be a pitcher, and what he's doing is he's giving pitching cues over there with his hat. Show us what a slide ball means, Jason.
Now spit.
Really? I bet all that really means something to people.
Let's
go to the live chat and see if anyone knows what the hell Jason. Oh, I'm cussing again. What the heck Jason's talking about?
I think Packrat just ducked on the live chat.
Ducked?
Yeah, he was worried about that pitch coming.
Oh, I see what he's going with that. I make sure to make that noise every single live podcast. It happens. I'm really trying to stop. It's like when you do a video and you say like that's my right now. It's making that stupid Price is Right noise that Jim, you hooked me on.
I used to watch that every day as a small child. Hey, everyone. I want to thank our podcast sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com. And they've been doing when I came up with the idea, we went straight into a commercial break here. But when I came up with the idea of having the podcast many years ago, I didn't ask anyone because I didn't want anyone to say no. So what I did is I just did it. And then I got a sponsor. So I hit Hobby King up and I said, why don't you sponsor this? And they said, of course, man. And then about a month later, Jim Burke said, where's this money coming from? And I said, Hobby King, they're our sponsor. And he said, of what? And I said, of the podcast. And he goes, you're doing a podcast? And I was like, yeah, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to say no. So
it's so much better to beg for forgiveness. And you didn't even have to beg for anything. You just had to inform of what you were doing.
But that's how this whole thing began. And then the YouTube, I guess, started with us. We decided it was a good idea to start doing that. And then we did it, and here we are.
And I remember the very first podcast that I was on as a guest.
Oh, I don't. Tell us about it.
I do. I was working for a technical college here in Cleveland as their marketing manager, and I was moonlighting as a reviewer for RCGroups, and you got me on. And I was sitting there walking around at my place of employment doing an interview with you, like just cruising around. And it was this huge motorcycle showroom because motorcycle. There was like hundreds of Harley Davidsons and race bikes, dirt bikes, everything you could possibly imagine was at this technical college. And I'm just sitting there strolling through the aisles. No one was there. Doing an interview about the Skywalker FPV airplane. What I was doing, I have no idea what we were even talking about. I think I was talking about cutting those plastic spoons and using the spoons as intakes.
Scoops. I remember that. Yeah.
So that was that. Yeah, we're all like, yeah. So that was that. That was kind of my start of the podcast, and I've been on it ever since.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank our live viewers right now. We have Aaron, Nad, Futana, Doug, Uncle Fester, 420. Uncle Fester, what does that mean, Uncle Fester? Pack Rat 76, Big Red Spider, Michael Bliss, Joey Crane, E-Powered RC, and
dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, I got to tell y'all something I did today that's old manish. This is before I forget it. So, as you may or may not know, they're doing construction in front of my house for like what, Matt? The last 3 months now.
It's been longer than that. It was been since there was good flying weather last season because you were bombing it with your quad.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the way before winter, and they show up every day at 6, and they have jackhammers usually. And so
that's 6 a.m. for all you.
Yeah, 6 a.m. And my wife likes to sleep with the window open, so it sounds like they're like outside the window, which they are, I guess. So anyway, this morning I'm out of bed, but I'm hearing a man in the street cursing. He cursed enough to make me think, I'm pretty sure I didn't hear what I think I did. And then I thought about how they probably don't allow him to cuss. Then he cussed more to the point where I walked to the window, and then he starts dropping GD and F like 20 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad, who died in 1994, showed up. I leaned out the window. This is not something I usually do.
Yes.
I channeled my father. It literally, I'm not kidding you. I yelled, "Hey, man, there's kids in this neighborhood. Quit your cussing, brother." I screamed it at him because my wife was downstairs and she said, "Who are you yelling at?"
And what happened?
He looked at me hanging out a window, and then he turned around and kept berating his employee, dropping the F-bomb.
Oh, he didn't care.
No.
Whoa.
But I was blown away. Now, I cuss. I cuss more now that my kids are older. I didn't cuss for years, but so I'm not opposed to cussing. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think you should cuss loudly in the street at like 6:30 a.m. You know?
Yeah, there's kids waiting at the bus stop next to the porta potty, right?
My son's window was open, and then I thought, well, he's probably heard the same thing in this house. But anyway,
well,
that happened.
All you got to do, and you don't really have to do this, but you could, is a nice, I don't know, Google rating of that company.
I took a picture of the truck door, and I'm a little embarrassed. I did call the manager and say, "Your dude is in the street."
Oh, you didn't tell me this part. You made the phone call?
Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed that I did. I feel kind of bad now that I reported the guy.
No,
but
it doesn't matter.
Didn't they appreciate that you decorated the porta-john for him?
This was a whole new crew. So this was not my crew. This was like some water crew. I don't know. They came out of nowhere. They didn't know us. I didn't know them.
I want to see if I can find your porta-john decoration.
That was epic.
Oh my God. And while we're on it, by the way, we're about to talk RC like you've never heard. Hardcore RC is, but they emptied the porta-john today or tumped it over. I don't know, shook it up, rattled it around.
Oh, you're such a good Southerner saying tumped. I appreciate that, Jim. That makes me feel like I'm home again.
But the front of our house now smells like
Porta?
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. So Jason Cole and I, who's gone now, but Jason and I went to the field. And Matt, if you could, would you pull up Jason's review of the, what's it called? Punk Air. It's a wing.
Well, first, I just needed to quickly
get the picture of the
No. I just wanted to show this right here. Just a good shot of that. I think that really speaks volumes about you and I. That's my portrait that somebody painted, and I put googly eyes on. So this is great stuff. Anyway,
wait. I think I put those googly. You put googly eyes on me.
You did. Yeah, you put the googly eyes on my picture, and I thought it was so nice. I put that as my Google picture, and you were like, "This is slightly disturbing to see on a daily basis for 6 months."
I wonder what Jason went to. So Jason called me up and he said, "Hey, let's go to the field." This was on Monday, and it literally has been winter all winter long. And so we went out to the field, and he had. If you could pull up that review that he put,
on it.
The Punk Air.
I'm on it. Stand by.
And he had a pair of these things, and I had no idea what to expect. But let me say, it was beautiful. There was almost no wind, and all the club members were out there. We're very lucky to have such a great club. They've always been Johnny cool and very, very nice guys. So,
you got it. You got my.
People are always asking me, what should I get? And it, of course, depends on what you want. For years, it was what drone should I get? But if you're looking for something very docile and fun, this doesn't do any. It goes inverted, but and then
I think what Jason said. Sorry to cut you off here, but I think what Jason said very eloquently is that when you fly model airplanes, I know there's so many RC groups people like this. When you fly model airplanes for years and years, you need something new and exciting and not the standard high wing Cub or the low wing Cessna, or excuse me, high wing Cessna or whatever it is, the Warbird. You need something new, novel that you sort of to reignite the spark in the hobby for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is it. This is unique as it gets. It's a hang glider that is just a flying wing with a contraption hanging below it here. Now these wheels don't come with it. Jason put these wheels on here. They're Quickie 500 wheels. They're super cheap, and he just glued them right on the edges there. But let's go ahead and watch the video.
Yeah, and so I shot the video. I'm always happy that we actually got footage we could use.
Hey, you guys want to hear Jason? Here he is.
What's up, everybody? Jason Cole here with RCGroups.com, and we've got another review for you. This time, this is something that's very unique. It's the Punk Air Wilco 1.3. It's a flying wing, but as you can tell, it looks like a hang glider.
I like
We're going
that.
to watch some flight footage here while I tell you a little bit about it. It's got a 51-inch wingspan, and this is a kit, so you're going to need to build it. It doesn't take a lot of time or need a lot of materials. You'll need some glue. It's EPP foam, so even CA works just fine with this. But you're going to want to spend about a 2-hour time frame to get this thing assembled and put together and ready to fly. It goes together really fast. It does come with the 22-amp speed controller and the brushless motor. So you're just going to need to provide your own receiver and battery pack.
Who's the awesome camera operator?
A 3-cell 1500 in both of these wings. I've actually got two with the green and the red. We'll see both of them fly here in this video. And then I did something a little bit different. So they give you this optional tail stabilizer, which you can see here on the green wing. It hangs back there. It's just attached by a carbon fiber tube, and it is removable easily. It just snaps on with the way you build the plane. But I built this one with it, and then I built the red one that you'll see here in a minute without it, just so I could get a feel for how they handle with and without the tail stabilizer. And after flying both, I would recommend using it. It does make it a little bit more smoother. And
that's a good flying airplane.
Yeah, man. Very docile.
Agile,
isn't it?
But it's also a little
you want me to, let's fast forward to the next plane without the tail on it.
And let me say, looks-wise, I got to say the green one looked a lot better.
Yeah, I like
really?
that green.
I like this red. Whoa.
The red was washed out. It didn't pop. And you know me, I like red and black.
Let's look at his landing here, because you know that's the real reason why any video is made and watched, is to see the landing. And oh, right on his knuckles. And that was pretty good, Jason. Good flying, man. Good videoing.
One thing I would say is it has enough power, but it certainly doesn't have a lot of power.
You don't really need it, do you? I mean, can you put a 4S in it?
I did not ask that. He handed me. I shot that video, and then he handed me the transmitter, and I flew the battery out. I will also say, if anyone has any questions about the landing gear taking a hit, I definitely came in hard, and I bonked the wheels, but it didn't care. So,
oh, you were flying? Who was videoing?
Jason flew all the stuff in the video, and then when he landed it, I handed him the camera, and he handed me the transmitter, and then I flew the rest.
So, do you remember the old Cox ultralight that they used that had the 049 on it? You ever seen that?
No.
It is. It's very reminiscent of this. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to type in Cox ultralight here, and here it is. check this out. I'm gonna just share my screen, and you guys can
wait till Jason finds out we went over his whole review and he wasn't even in his chair.
So look at this. This is kind of the same principle, but it's a real ultralight.
That's hot.
And isn't that nice? And they don't really make them. They don't make these at all anymore. But it's got the real rigging, and it definitely has the cool 70s ultralight colors on it. I think they did extremely well with this aircraft, and it's too bad that it's not produced anymore.
Yeah, a guy where we fly at, we use his property for an airfield. They actually have one of those they found in a barn. And I don't know.
Wait, the real ultralight or the Cox ultralight?
No, the Cox.
Oh, cool.
Dude, it was pretty neat. I don't know what happened to it, but they found it in the corner of a barn back there.
Some guy probably never flown before, took off, crashed it, balled it up.
Dude, it looked brand new. It just had dust on it.
I hate this hobby.
Speaking of that, I have a story. So Jason we shot the video and took the photos, and he's like, well, I'm out of here. But it was so pretty out there, and I hadn't been outside in so long, and everybody was flying everything. And I have a friend out there, Matt, that has a 68 Chevy C10. So,
oh man, now you're talking.
He's one of my, Danny is a real nice guy. I kind of, you know how you meet somebody and you feel like you're kind of the same type of person. I feel that way about Danny. And then all the other club members I've known since I started flying out there, which was over 15 years ago. So, Danny is telling me, first of all, he's telling me, I don't think I can tell this story.
That's Danny, all good. You got to somehow give me something.
Danny likes to teach people and bring them back in the hobby, whatever he can. I see him doing it all the time. So they were talking about the last guy he taught used a walker and could barely get out to the flight line, Mm-hmm. And so he said, I thought I was helping him fly again before he died, and then he disappeared. And
he died.
Well, he's gone a long time. So Danny called his wife and he said, hey, I haven't seen Dawn at the field. And she said, well, he flew to Thailand and he won't come home. What? So Danny thought that this guy was dying and he was going to teach him to fly like a month before he perished. And instead he's flown to Thailand to live with his girlfriend that he met on the internet.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That happens a little bit too often. Huh?
Well, but that's not the story I'm here to tell. That was just a side story I heard at the field. Okay. So anyway, this other guy walks up and he has an apprentice. And of course we know Kim and we know Horizon and we know all that stuff. And I said, hey, an apprentice. And he goes, well, I'm going to teach myself to fly again today. And I said, well, when's the last time you flew? He said, when I was 18 was the last time I flew. And he said that was over 40 years ago. Right. Mm-hmm. So Danny comes out and evidently he's a friend of Danny. And Danny, we discussed whether we need a trainer or not. And ultimately no one wanted to mess around with the trainer cord. We had a cord and we had it, but so anyway, I said, it's an apprentice, what could happen up there? You just take and so we get it in the air, we get him way high in the air and the guy starts flying around. The guy's flying towards himself. And then I go and talk to some other guy about a Hobby King Tundra situation where they're like, tell us about the new one. And I'm like, I can't. I've seen it, but I can't say anything about it. They're like, how big is it? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's grand.
It's anyway. So then I come back and this guy has been flying around and I said, have you landed? And he's like, oh no, I certainly can't land. And I'm like, yeah. And Danny's like, well, let's just do it, I guess. And so he does a couple of finals. And my big thing when somebody's new at landing, I say, keep your wings level and just chop the throttle and let it land itself. Don't force it. People always force it on the ground and that's how they crash.
Yeah.
He landed it and this guy could not have been more excited.
Was he hopping and skipping, doing the happy dance?
He was shaking hands.
Wow.
That's like, all right.
That's some good, so then I said, good mojo.
I said, well, then now I guess you got to take it off. And Danny goes, you want to take it off? And he goes, oh, I can't take it off. And I said, people take off all the time and never even mean to. Certainly you can take off. And so he took off. And let me say that apprentice is such a sweetheart. It's almost impossible to get in trouble.
Yeah, it's got safe select on it. It's got AS3X, right?
Yeah, and
it literally is a good way to teach. And people say that all that stuff isn't good to learn how to fly with, but I beg to differ because if you can fly the apprentice, you can graduate to a plane easily without it.
And this guy proved that. I mean, not on the sticks for 40 years, and he took off land and flew around. And I guarantee I would let him go out by himself and fly that thing around. I think after a couple of touch and goes, he'd be like a number one.
Good story, man.
Plus, it's a good looking airplane, and and when you put it in expert mode, it flies like any other RC plane. It's awesome.
And I like when you said that's like words to live by. When you say people take off all the time by accident, and they do. They get out there, and their goal is just to taxi their new airplane. And next thing you know, they're going, "I'm on the wing. I'm on the wing." And
well,
they don't know what to do.
Danny, the guy, first of all, my father-in-law did that. We built a couple of airplanes to take to Florida, and he's like, I'm going to taxi around. And I, before I could say it, I said, Charlie, and before I could say taxis, takes off, he had taken off and then he crashed it.
That's a prime example.
But I said that to Danny. Danny goes, why don't you just taxi it around? And I said, Danny, you know, that's slang for you're going to take it off. He goes, Jim, do you know that you were here the first time I ever flew a plane? And I said, I was. And he said, I'm going to just taxi around. And you said, you're probably going to take off. And he goes, and I did. And that's the first time I ever took off an airplane.
Oh my gosh. This is how careers in aviation start, right?
Layers of the onion.
Oh yeah.
And then where the illness begins.
It is. It is an illness.
Well, you know what happened when he said that this guy that was flying, I guess he built this Apprentice, when it was in the sky flying around, he kept saying, I can't believe it really flies. And when I built mine was a stick build wood airplane. I could not believe that the thing that I built actually could fly around.
Yep. I had the same feeling first time I flew FPV with the right wing Zephyr inside the cockpit with goggles. I'm like, and this was the early ones. Woo! Hey, it's JoJo.
There he is.
Hey, we doing?
Hey, Joe.
We're talking about the first time we really flew, and Matt's telling us about his first FPV experience.
No, it was nice. Yeah, it was the same exact principle. Like, I can't believe I'm in this airplane and flying it from first-person point of view perspective. Even though it was 900 megahertz, I had no idea what I was doing. When I say 900, I mean linear antennas. I was literally above myself. So all up in the Fresnel zone. The whole thing, it's just terribly fuzzy the whole time. I had no idea why it was fuzzy, but I didn't want to stray too far because I didn't have any sort of return to home or stabilization or anything like that. And it was scary. It was exciting. It was a great feeling. Yeah.
And one thing I'll say about FPV because like Danny, in fact, I said, have you FPV'd yet? And he goes, oh, I'm waiting to get better at this real RC flying before I start that. And I said, buddy, it's easier to fly FPV than it is to fly standing on the ground. And if you've done it RC so long that you're like, I don't feel like flying, FPV will open up a whole new horizon for you.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a few ups and downs. So whereas being on the ground, you can always see your airplane, you know where you're flying, but you can lose orientation, right? But when you're flying FPV, no matter which way you turn, it's always left is left, right is right, up, down, whatever. However, you can get lost. And that was all. And I have done that where I've actually been lost. I don't recognize anything on the ground. And that's when you just start circling and looking for random things. And then you start sweating.
Yeah, you have to keep calm.
That's the hard part about FPV. Now, and I say now like there's some sort of, like it was like, back in the 30s, we walked to school through snow, but now you have the Eagle Tree Vector and whatever flight controllers that will just bring you home or point you home when you need to. So
I got up at
tracker.
Yep.
So Joe's here, and Joe, awesome, man. Did you get a coffee break or something?
Yeah, I'm actually done for the day, but I thought since I was still here, I could jump on before I head to the house.
What do you do? We're having a problem understanding exactly what you do. You don't have to give away your business, but what are you doing now?
We know it involves fire trucks.
Yeah, I actually wear very many large hats. So my first and foremost job is I'm a health and safety trainer for GM.
I knew you were Chevy.
Yeah, and I train the emergency response team, and I train like fork truck classes and aerial lift classes and CPR first aid, and that's the primarily. Yeah.
So if you get hurt at Joe Nall, you want to do it around Mean Joe.
Yeah, actually, we had that happen last year. Myself and Kevin Turner had to respond to a young man that had a go-kart accident. So,
I remember that. He went out of control in his go-kart. Now, Mean Joe, he was very mean and he berated him, but he helped him at the same time. So there's the mean part and then the nice part. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he had a couple of extra bruises that he didn't have before. So
Jason and I were the first responders on the scene. We saw him trapped under the thing, and I forget who was there. It was some notable RC guy, and he said, "Go up to the top and get a medic." And
we need a backstory. Go ahead, Jim.
A backstory?
People are just not understanding. Oh, I need to know what happened here.
We're at Joe Nall, and it's probably the last day, and we're driving up the hill, and we see these people running by the flagpole, below the flagpole. And anyway, there was a kid wedged under a pickup truck. And what happened was his go-kart started without him. Well, he started it and it took off and he grabbed onto it. I think somehow it slammed him into the truck.
So what happens is that go-karts have those little clutches on them. It's a centrifugal clutch. And when they start to go bad on the back of these Briggs & Stratton motors, I've had this happen 1,000 times. You crank it up and the clutch sticks wide open. So the thing just takes off. I've been in that situation where you panic, you grab the back of the go-kart, and the thing just drags you on. It was almost like I was thinking about my childhood.
He was actually, his dad was in the Porta John, and the young man was trying to get it started so it'd be ready to go when his dad got back, and he pulled the ripcord and it took off. And of course, like you said, he grabbed the bar in the back and it took off down the hill and took him with it. So,
he was in the porta potty?
No, his dad was. He was trying to start it. He was trying to start it for his dad is what he was trying to do.
What a crappy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ended up being okay. He was no worse for the wear. He did pretty good. And of course we had Kevin Turner's a doctor, so he was right there on the scene, and he was all right.
Well, we went up the hill.
You could dump the clutch.
Right.
Oh my God, you're on a roll, man.
Man, he's on it.
Poop. I'm sorry.
So, Jason, you missed it. We talked about the Punk Air, and the good news is you had audio on your video, so you actually did speak in the podcast. So, congratulations.
He looks pixelated like a Nintendo thing there.
That's not his office. He's in like the kitchen or something.
I don't know where he is. Yes. No. Yes. Anyway.
Slime ball. Hey, Joe, I know you don't have it on you, but I understand that you received a product to review from the company called Buddy RC.
Who are those guys?
Did. Yeah. Yes, I did. It's the Magnate 3 Stretch, or the Magnate Stretch 3.
And so, there it is. Talk while you hold that up.
Yeah, so it's really nice. It came out of the box just like that, just like what Doug's showing there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Oh, I wish I'd have taken that for a review. I assigned it to my best man.
Right.
But that is just a gorgeous quad, and like somebody said earlier, the way you've incorporated the upper frame to have the Buddy RC logo magnet on it, dude.
Oh yeah.
Beefy.
Yeah, the lights in the back too.
Yeah,
the lights in the back are the magnet shape.
So someone was saying that it was I'm sorry, maybe you can update me on this, Doug. Is this a 2-inch that stretched to 3, or is it a 3-inch?
It's built as a 2.5 that will accept 3-inch props, mostly for the 4-cell guys. A lot of the guys are running at 4-cell on 3-inch props. Some of them are actually running at 2.5-inch props. I have actually 2 or 3 of my pilots in the chat right now that's been testing these like crazy because they have more time than I do to get out and play.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the special guest pilot that's going to be testing this, and he's going to put it through the ringer. He's going to put it to the test.
As he should.
Get some sweet video.
So we have some users asking for specs. You can go to
I want to pull it up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
You can go to Buddy RC and check that out. But Mean Joe will have all that information in the review that he's working on for RCGroups.com.
Yep.
Yeah, we threw all the top components in the quad. So
what's a thing like that cost?
$199 right now. We actually did a promotion. We posted it on RC Groups and Facebook. We actually sold 10 of these quads and killed our website.
Yes, that's what we enjoy doing, helping you kill your website.
And then we turned around and sold a second. Actually, Wes Johnson's on there giving everybody specs in the chat. We sold an extra 10 at $99, and then we sold 40 at $150 just to get the word out about these quads.
Right.
And of course, we get the emails. Well, if you could afford to sell these at $99 and $150, you're making money, and now you're selling them at $199. But anyway, we lost our butt on them, but we wanted to get this out to the masses and prove that we can do it.
And it's got some really good. You've got 4K carbon fiber plates in here. The SpeedX 32-bit 4-in-1 ESCs. You've got the Sunny Sky Edge 1106s in there, and you've got the Unify Pro HV transmitter. So this is not your bargain base. This is not a nice quad with bargain crap on it. This thing is set up extremely well. I'm coming by the booth. I'm coming out of the booth. Sorry. I'm coming by the booth at Toledo, and I got to pick up one of these.
Oh, we'll definitely have them there. And also in the next batch, we are going to try to go to the Nano, TBS Unified Nano, to give it a little bit more room in there. It's kind of tight, but we wanted to have top of the line, and the Nano wasn't out when we started building these.
So here's what I can tell you so far. As you guys know, I've done a lot of this type of reviews, and getting this thing out of the box, for being a quad that the size of it is, this thing is extremely well built. The quality of the components that I'm seeing on my end so far is I've never seen it. You know, you get it in the more expensive, the larger quads. And I'll be honest with you, when I first got the tag on the review, I thought it was going to be bigger. When I got it out of the box, I was shocked.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, anybody that's thinking about pulling the trigger on one of these, bang, 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 pull that trigger, because
Doug, hold on to one for me, because I'm going to see you there, and I got to get one.
Got it right here.
Very nice.
Thanks. Oh, I'll take it. Here, let me grab that. So what's new? What's coming down? I know we got a contest to do here shortly, but we got a little bit of time. So what's the next big thing from Buddy RC? You guys are pretty heavy with the multi-rotor stuff. Do we have any fixed wing stuff coming from Buddy RC? I know I'm just putting you on the spot.
You're setting me up there, aren't you?
Yes, I sure am.
Well, currently at Buddy RC, it's kind of funny. I got this sitting here. We got this sword wing. This is actually pretty cool, and we got these on sale. We have like 40 left. Once they're gone, they're gone. Comes with motor, ESC, everything ready to rock. Wes, who's in the chat right now, he has one that he actually cut out, set up for FPV. $69 is what we're selling these for on our website.
I'm looking at that, and I can instantly think that'd be a great night flyer.
Oh, yes. And I'm pretty sure Wes has like 100 LEDs on his. But as far as fixed wing, we're actually working with Sunny Sky USA. As you can see in my background there. Dang. Anyway.
Bunny.
Yeah, Bunny. That's
Bunny
it.
Sky. Anyway.
Bunny Sky. But anyway, we're working a lot with them. With the industry and the multi-rotors, it's hard to stay on top of it, and it's hard to stay in the game, in the multi-rotor game, because it changes every day. And me and Dale, who's the owner, founder of Buddy RC, have a pure passion for airplanes. We're working with Sunny Sky USA to create a couple big airplane motors up to 50 cc. I have one coming for an ARS 300 I got from AJ.
Nice.
So we're going to be checking that out, and Pack Rat's going to be part of that deal. But we have other stuff, and I don't want to take up the whole chat, but we do have another company that I've been advised that I will be business manager pretty much of. Sunny Sky USA has bought OMP, and on the OMP side, because people are asking, we are working on a design for a 70 cc and some 120s.
Oh, that's huge.
It's going to be a little bit before we get them out, but we'll have some samples out and hopefully be able to show some off, get them in my pilot's hands, and see what we can do with them.
Well, I happen to know a guy that you could get some info on those.
Yeah,
oh, sure.
Be happy to try them out.
I know a guy.
You know this guy.
You
well,
know,
that's good. That's good to know.
Doug, I was thinking about you and OMP, and the Profile Brotherhood was, as OMP's always been one of the companies that made things for those guys, and so I'm thinking of ways that we could get you working, or at least getting the word out to the bros, for bro-like designs.
Heck
and
yeah.
kick-ass 3D profile planes.
We are.
Oh yeah. Good.
We do have hopes of. We want to keep the Fusion. We like the Fusion. It's a pretty cool plane. It's got a good following, and it's got a. We wanted to keep OMP,
right?
And that's kind of our goal. Keep it in Ohio. But we do have the Fusion. We have 20 some of them here right now, and we're going to try to stick to that and maybe build on that a little bit. But we do want to get back into the 120 extra S-Box stuff like that. There you go.
This Fusion, like you say, has a sort of a cult following. When you start talking about the Fusion on Flying Giants, people go, "Oh yeah, that's it." So, and then I like this color especially. But good plane, awesome company. Glad that Buddy RC can continue the legacy.
Yeah, and conveniently at the Toledo show, like Creeper just said, COMP at Toledo. We will be at the Toledo show. It'll be Buddy RC, OMP, and Sunny Sky all in a row of 5 booths right inside from the registration.
Yep. Oh, you're going to be a busy man, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Right on your left, right?
Yeah, right when you walk in on your left.
You said you've got those Fusions?
Yep.
All right.
I got like 20 of them.
Don't get any ideas, Joe.
Oh, it's already in the works. It's going to happen.
Hey, nice. Chevy Pre-Runner, are you on the live chat? If so, please post yes in the live chat for me.
What is this?
Also, we're about to announce the winner for the Flying Giants Joe Nall contest, where you get a free week and free camping.
Yeah, should I head over to that?
Sure.
To that thread?
And then I'm going to make an announcement about our RCGroups Flying Giants, or I'm sorry, RCGroups Joe Nall. Creeper, I'm sorry. Chevy Pre-Runner, are you online? Paging Chevy Pre-Runner. What is a Pre-Runner?
Pre-Runner is like it's a 2-wheel drive race truck, off-road Pre-Runner.
All right. And luckily, I picked 3 names just in case someone's not online yet. I'm going to give Pre-Runner one more second to post in the live chat. I'm sure there's a lag, so I better let the lag.
No, there's a big time lag.
Well, there he is. Chevy, you're the winner of the Buddy RC T8 Charger.
Well, let's head back to in here. We'll do that in a second.
So do me a favor, Chevy, and in this chat, just so I know it's you, Matt, there's no reason why that guy can't post me his email in the chat, right?
Let him. If he wants to, he wants to.
Post me your email address in the chat, and then I'm going to email you with all the information that you need to send us. And congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome to the ISDT T8 Club or something.
You will get this particular charger. It'll be coming.
And by the way, it can pull 30 freaking amps. Oh my gosh. That is intense.
So we do hope for all our live guys to have more live stuff like this in the future. This is something we talked about last week, and thanks to Doug, he made it happen. And so very awesome. Also, you can see they are in our email that went out today to over 100,000 people. So if you want to click on their banner there, feel free to do that.
All right. Well, we're on a roll. Do you want to go ahead and pick a winner for the favorite photo contest?
So let's talk about Joe Nall. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the name, and then we can post it in the thread. But I'm going to give everyone here who's watching this video live or non-live my speech. It's not long. It's very important. Are you into RC? Have you ever been to an RC event? There they are. All those people, 13,000 of them. Go ahead and post that up instead of my head.
Got you covered. Hold on. Here we are. Present to everybody, and bam.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you need to do if you're really into the hobby. If you've never been to Joe Nall, stop. Don't go to whatever event you thought you were going to in the next 3 months. If you can go to both, that's good. But if you can only go to one, go to Joe Nall. It is the RC event of the world. People like this will be there.
Zach will be there. This is the epitome of Joe Nall.
So I came up with a random idea last year that Thursday would be overall day, and so many people took part of this. There were at least 6 people that did this on the grounds of Joe Nall.
So many.
Zach was one, and then he said, "Can I wear your hat all day long?" And I said, "You know what? I carry 2, so you can have my extra." So,
and then he burned it afterwards.
Wow.
No. So I'm just saying, Joe Nall, whatever you think it is, it's more. However big you think it is, it's bigger. It's the Mad Max Thunderdome of RC.
I remember this moment right here.
What do you think? Joe, you got any thoughts on why people should go to Joe Nall?
Because it's the best thing in the entire world.
That's a hefty statement, but it rings true. Look at Wes doing his little pose here on the ground.
You don't have to bring an airplane. People are always like, do I fly it? You don't. The electric line now is something that you can take advantage of and have a great time at. And it's not like being on the main line, where I would be scared to death to fly on the main line. That's a lot of money up in the air. But if you don't want to bring anything, bring a bike or a golf cart or whatever, and just run around and look at all the awesome.
Yeah, this Bill Hempel Cub is surprisingly scaled to this young man.
You can put that kid right in there.
Yeah, is that the pilot?
Literal perfect size to fly this aircraft.
When you first brought that picture up, I thought that was the full scale. I don't remember seeing that one there.
Yeah, let me get on to where I just was.
So what we did was,
and hey, look who it is, Stephen Julie.
One thing I do at night is I get in the golf cart and drive around, and if people wave at me and there's food involved, I usually pull over, and that is how I eat dinner and sometimes lunch at Joe Nall.
I think that's a great way to do it.
I think I was at that party.
Oh yeah,
you were.
How are you, love?
Tommy Miller's gang put on.
Look at that Flying Giant shirt there from 2008.
Nice.
That is dedication that a shirt has made it 10 years or 9 years at that point.
RC Superstar Tavis.
Tavis, yeah. There's another half scale mastery. This Pitts isn't too much smaller than the real one. Isn't that Jason's Pitts?
I don't know, but that looks like right behind the center main line.
Woo! There I am.
And there I am.
There's Jimmy.
Ashley.
You say that, Jimmy?
Bobby Sadler. This must have been Thursday with that overcastness.
Yeah, it is. He's asking for the woo. Can I get a woo? And there I am panning around.
Oh, wait, I'm wearing overalls. I think it must be Thursday. Yeah, that is Thursday.
There's the youngest pilot. No, just kidding. There are actually much younger pilots out there that can fly. So anyway, the whole point of the contest was post a picture that you love. It didn't have to be something you did. It could just be any photo. And so this is what the people have been submitting, photo after photo after photo. Look at the duster on floats.
And the whole premise was just to bring up the awareness of Joe Nall. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's hot.
I haven't seen the double wheel version.
That's a welded special, man.
I didn't see those down there. You know what? Is this the year the Stay Puft Blow doll was down there?
Yeah, it scared the bejeez out of me. I got video of that thing.
That was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, what is
meat.
This,
briskets.
Meat.
Briskets.
Meat.
Oh,
now there, look at that 3D Hobby Shop. That was Ben there last year. I don't remember that he was.
There's old Pack Rat.
Hey, Pack Rat.
He's wearing the right hat too. It looks like
he don't go home without it.
I know. There's the Mistress Minion. That's Pack Rat's plane, right? If that's Miss Pack Rat. Anyway.
Well, I don't know.
Look at this. Oh man, this worked out very well.
Let's end on that photo. Let's announce the winner. We'll put it in the thread, of course. But the winner of the Flying Giants free week and free week of camping is Tuba Mike 78.
Oh man.
Oh,
I don't know what's the value on such a thing. Does anyone know what it costs to camp and all that stuff?
Oh, guys, easy a couple of $100 for that.
Yeah.
It's like $400 if you put it all together. Don't quote me, but I think that's about what it is, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's close to that. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
and too bad we didn't include a golf cart in this. You would have really been set. But you got to supply your own wheels when you get there.
That's an interesting idea. Of course,
maybe
then we
ride
be
around
liable for it.
Boom, boom, boom.
So Tuba, you're the winner, and we're going to stick that in the thread. And then I'm going to say this, and I sure hope no one gets upset, but on RCGroups, I evidently did not post it right because it was never a feature.
No, this is not to get upset about.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't win, you can head over to RCGroups and enter again for a chance to win. This is your second chance.
I'm going to make sure it's listed as a feature, and I'm going to stick it in the electric plane section. So it'll be stuck at the top, easy to find. That's right at the top of the list. And in fact, I'll do it before I get off this podcast. So I'm going to extend that, and I'm doing it for this one reason. It's some people, they're like, oh, you're giving this away as to promote a product, which we do most of the time. But this is actually to promote a great event. So I want to be able to promote
a great person and a great venue.
What was the name again? What was the name again, Jim?
Joe Nall?
No, no, the winner.
Oh, Tuba Mike. Let me make sure. I know it. Tuba Mike 78.
Clarinet Bill 1991.
If you've never been to Joe Nall, bring a mode of transportation. Bring a bike. Bring a golf cart. Bring a urinal. Whatever you got.
A urinal?
You're going to want something.
Hey, isn't there a toilet on a little go-kart toilet that people ride around on? Seriously, though, you can rent them there, and that's what a lot of people do. And I remember this question gets asked every year. Do they ever run out of golf carts? Well, maybe 5 years ago, but they have a surplus of golf carts every single year.
And Miss Ginger, tell them that Jim T said hello. She might not even remember my name, but I hang out with Miss Ginger every year.
Miss Ginger is the keeper of the golf carts.
Yes. This contest on RCGroups will run until 3/15. Let's call it that. 3/15/18. Save and sticking. All right.
So let me know when it's live.
It's in the electric plane talk. And now I'm going to go to thread tools. So excited I can stick things again. Stick thread. Perform action. Yes. Okay. It's good.
There it is. All right. So I'm going to share screen real quick. We'll go back to all Maticus Gunnicus here. Present to everyone. Share screen. And on RCGroups from the homepage, you can easily get there by clicking this beautiful Planes logo or the magazine right here. Let's do the magazine since it's nice and fresh. We'll just click all. And it should be first, second, right there. RCGroups, YouTube, Buddy RC. That's that one. That's not the one.
Yeah, so it's the easier way, Matt, would be to go into electric planes.
Up top here, right? Planes?
I don't think it's going to stick it to the top of that.
Oh, electric plane talk.
Yeah, you want to go into an electric plane, and there it is.
Here we are, the Joe Nall favorite photo contests. Let's get some people in there for a chance to win. What time? What does it run? 3:15?
Yeah.
All right, we got 14 days, y'all.
Okay, and once again, kudos to Joe Nall and all that. Matt, you were right there on the other thing we need to talk about before we get going.
Okay, let me see.
And that is a contest that I tell you what, I do get excited when I say, hey, can we do a contest? And somebody says yes, because it's just good for everybody.
Well, tell me where to go. Right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
beautiful plane. Beautiful plane.
I mean, how appropriate is it that we're giving away the RCGroups Extra? And that's a $300 and something plane. I mean, it's not cheap. Jason, who can give a big thumbs up on how it flies.
There's the real deal. Yeah.
And that's the full scale. Jim Burke, former owner of RCGroups, flew into town and we went out to the field and met him. I got to say, prior to this photo, we were almost arrested by security. Jason can attest to that. It wasn't a lie. The lady was coming after us.
Yeah, she was. That's a beautiful plane. And if you're
for a Magnate.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't doubt it. That'd probably be a pretty good trade. Both of them are pretty high performance, but oh, so nice one to touch the airplane.
I think Matt wants one of these things.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to trade I'm going to trade Jason for it.
So to enter the contest, it's very simple. You go to Hobby King, you pick out something that you like, and then post the link of that thing into the thread. And you can post as many things that you like as many times as you want. And then we're going to randomly pick a winner.
I got to get busy.
And it'll take a hit. Jason actually.
You're not eligible.
He threw the battery out of the airplane and did a spin into the ground. The airplane didn't care too much. There was a slight repair.
Look at those side force generators keeping that thing up, man. You can see it start to rock just a little bit, but they keep it nice and level.
I want to rock with you.
All night.
All right. What does it cost to rent a golf cart? I believe, Joey, that it's around $400.
It is not cheap to rent a golf cart, but You cannot put a price on mobility at Joe Nall. Actually, you can. It's about $400.
Another way to go, if you don't want to do the golf cart, you can always get a scooter. I was talking to some locals, and they were saying they were going to bring their bicycles.
I'm putting my. By the way, I know you hear me typing.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Let me answer this. Most contests that we do, and it's not because of us, it's because of the manufacturer, that it's Con US only. But this 330LX contest through Hobby King they told me they'd ship it anywhere. So yeah, you're totally cool.
All right, I'm presenting to everybody. This is my thing. This is an old thread we did in 2015 called "What You Bringing to Nall."
We should whip this thing out again.
Yeah. So here is what I took to Nall the first time I went. This was my mode of transportation, which is I built this myself, custom build and everything.
You still have it?
Nope, I sold it. I sold it. I couldn't transport it anymore in the back of my truck to go to Nall, so I let it go. Anyway, 12 horsepower motor out of a 6 horsepower Honda, and then people started showing what they're bringing. Let's see if there's so. People mostly showed their airplanes, but this guy was building this is almost like a Shriner's cart, man, something like that.
You know what? Have you seen the easy chair guys that do the parades where they drive around in easy chairs?
Yes.
That would be awesome.
So everyone's staying in their trailers. Here we are, almost finished up. Look at that.
Ooh.
He cruised around on that. You can only cruise around so much in a go-kart before you get covered in dust.
There was one year these guys brought these Barbie cars that had hopped up frames and motors, and boy, that looked terrible. Whatever, like if they had any artery cloggage or any bowel impediments, whatever, it all got shook out. But by the time the show was over, I guarantee.
Bowel impediments.
And then this sign that you see behind me was created by Lane at Lane's Planes. I said, hey, I want you to make me a golf cart sign for Joe Nall. So that's what he created, and that's made to strap on the front end of the golf cart.
God, I literally want to say, like, that's like the good old days, but it's not. It's still, all the days are the good old days with Joe Nall. But I remember when that was made, we took that for the first time. You had it glowing at night on the front of the golf cart. Life was good, Jim.
And I haven't heard the hobbies dying and all that lately, but last year we were in the middle of it, and I was sitting on top of the hill with Mr. Pat, much like some historical figure hanging out with you. And we were in the Pope Mobile, which is the nicest golf cart ever made, and we're looking out over Joe Nall talking, and Mr. Pat said, Jim, I hear that hobby's dying, but from my view, it looks like the biggest Joe Nall in history. And it was. And so it was very awesome.
Yeah. During tough times, I think people need to relax more than ever.
Well, I'm trying to relax more than ever now, Matt.
You're doing a good job of it, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yelling out of your window at 6 a.m. Hey, you kids, quit cursing on my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
That's a great point.
No, you decorated the neighborhood porta potty with Christmas lights.
Yeah.
You are relaxing.
So I was at a movie a long time ago with my wife, pre-children, and this guy one seat over, but there was a space between us, kept talking in the movie, and I lost it. And I turned to him and I explained to him that I only got to go out once a week and this was it. And I needed him to shut up. But in the middle of me saying this, I realized that I was yelling at a giant biker. I didn't know that this was what I was about. I halfway through my speech, I realized I've made a serious error in judgment.
And the guy looked just like this.
That was awesome.
So what happened, Jim?
He took me very seriously. He must have thought this guy's crazy. He was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was like,
wow, that's an outcome that does not usually happen. It usually would result in fisticuffs.
Yeah, I was thankful he didn't kill me.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at the time.
Yeah, you know what? Every week I'm like, will we have enough to talk about? And every week we go straight up to the hour.
You know why it is, right? It's because Joe jumped in.
Ah, yes.
Right. He saved us.
Saved the day, right?
Secret ingredient. And the next time we see Joe, he might have that quad in his hand. So you get to do that. Hey, gigantically big thanks to Doug and Buddy RC. Thank you, Doug.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for letting us come on here, man.
And thanks for my new favorite hat.
That was Pack Rat and Karen, but
yes,
yeah, that was awesome.
Hey, and everyone listening, Pack Rat and Karen are at a lot of the big shows, always posting great photos. And let me tell you, taking photos and post, it's not just the taking, it's the posting that takes all the time. So what a huge thank you for all of that. And that's not thank you from me as a guy at RC Groups. That's a thank you from everybody as hobbyists to share the hobby and make the hobby greater and greater and greater.
Oh, yeah. I remember when Karen wasn't taking photos, and then she went from not being a photographer to being a professional photographer like in 1 year. So she turns out some quality stuff. And we utilize Karen a lot for Flying Giants. Sure. Absolutely.
And man, you know, we're out here trying to do, it's our job to promote the hobby and work the hobby and be a part of it. But the hobby really depends on all of you and all of us as pilots to keep it, propel it into the future and make sure that it's going and vibrant and kids are getting into it. So it's our job, but it's also everyone's job if you love this hobby to keep pushing it. And that's what everybody sitting here is doing and everyone out there on the live feed. And we sure appreciate it. So I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. I want to thank Jason Cole for showing up, even though he's sick. Thumbs up. I want to thank Matt Gunn for being Matt Gunn. Always awesome.
That's
mean Joe Vermillion,
say.
you know, Joe's so mean, but he's also so lovely. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. And a big thanks to Doug for taking time. I know that there's 8,000 people on the phone waiting to talk to you right now.
He's got his headset on. He's talking to other people right now on his headset.
Yeah, right.
Taking orders.
Yeah. Yep.
And thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be on here, and we'll be on anytime you need us.
All right. And check them out at Toledo. Go visit them. And I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. And thanks to everyone in this live chat. I've got you over in the side window here. Congratulations to Chevy. And that is all. I'm going to hit the button now after somebody says what needs to be said.
Hot trigger.
So nice one to touch the hiney.
You need to simmer down now.